Hey guys, in this tutorial we are going to see how to um, configure a Spring Web application using a properties file. So in plain Java, we saw how to load a properties file uh, using the properties class. In Spring it's a little bit different and it's very interesting. So let's say I create here a new file called employee.properties reflecting the name of my application, and I want to have any key value pairs. So for example, version equal to 1.0 and oh, well, we can call it app.version, then app.name equal to employee application. All right. Now let's say we want to create a new service called let's say app about app service. All right. um and let's say it does nothing but returns the application version. So let's say get name. Okay. And we have, let's say, get version, and let's say we have private string name and private string version, and we just return name and version. And let's have a controller called app about app controller. And again, let's say it's a REST controller, not a normal controller serves which serves HTML. It's a REST controller that we're going to create. And okay, so let's say we have a method called details, and let's keep the method as API slash about. Okay. It's a get method, so we are not going to have anything over here. Now we need to return something, so let's have a class for this. New class about app, and it has a private string name and private string version, and I have my getters and setters. Cool. So I can now instantiate this about app d equal to new about app. Let's call this about app data class, and we can now auto wire about app service and d dot set name as service dot get name, d dot set version service dot get get version, and let's return this data object back to a calling client in form of JSON. So we have declared our properties over here. Our service returns name and version. The controller can return this data, but we have not yet tied these values with our service. So first of all, I'm going to close all of these uh, for a sec, just to clean everything up. So Spring has uh, an annotation called property source, or you can combine multiple property sources as well. All right, and here you can have an array of property sources. So I can have something called property source, and well, I'll have to refer my code for this. um, yeah, you can have something like this over here, right? So I'm saying that, hey, load, I mean, there can be multiple property sources, uh, and I'm declaring one property source over here. I'm saying pick it up from the file employee.properties, uh, which I created over here. So when Spring loads itself, it'll just try to find this file and load these properties. And just like auto wiring works, in a similar fashion, Spring provides you with an annotation at value. And so when it's initializing this class, and since it has an annotation at service, Spring can go through its member variables and see if there are any at value annotations, and if yes, then initializes the value of these member variables to the value referred to by the at value annotation. And I think the way to do this is you just give dollar $app.name and dollar $app.version. Let me just verify this from my other code. So yeah, that's the way to do it. Dollar GDBC. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Okay, so if everything works well, we should be able to um, see everything running fine. So we need to go to localhost employee swagger UI, and I get the about app controller. And if I just try this out, I get my name and version all hooked up using the properties file. And a small note, since we are here, uh, so if I look at the controller, sorry, not this one. If I look at the um, if I look at the controller, uh, I'm using slash API everywhere. This is not a great way to repeat things. So I think what you can do is value equal to slash API, and you can just remove slash API from everywhere. All right. Um, and since this controller is largely dealing with employee, so we can just add employee over here, and that's how a RESTful API should be designed. That your URL paths basically up to a certain level refer to the objects that you're trying to manipulate, and then you have put, post, get, uh, delete methods to do CRUD operations, and then you provide slash id etc to do a particular action on a particular ID. um, and so similarly here, let's use slash API slash about, and or well, let's say slash app uh, or about. Okay, and gives application name and version. All right, I'll just stop and restart. Okay, something has gone horribly wrong. Ambiguous mapping. There's already an API about bean. Mm, I think I have done something wrong over here. Just give me a second. So, yeah, that's the way it should be done. Mm, API about. Okay, let's just remove this and see if it works. Alright, so this part works, but if I have slash API slash about, it gives me an error. Let me debug this. I'm not sure what happened over here, but somehow this declaration over here is clashing with this declaration over here. So for the time being, I have just kept this as it is, and basically moved my request mapping path in the rest from the top to the method itself. But let us see how this works eventually. um, Now I should be able to see all these APIs in Swagger. um, One sec, I might need to just restart this. Okay, still getting bad request. Let's do one thing. Sometimes we have to go back to fix things. I'm just going to keep this as it is and uh, have it like this over here. All right, okay, and let's see if this works. Whew. And here we get our Swagger UI. We try it out and we get all our values coming properly from the properties file. So that's about properties file. We may need to do some dancing around properties file when we are doing unit testing, but we'll have a look at it when we get there. Thank you.